Welcome to this episode of Friday Sews, where we talk about sewing and a little bit of life. If this is our first time meeting, my name is Celeste, and on my channel, I love to talk about my hobbies, which are sewing, cooking, and gardening. Thank you for being here today. I wanted to give you an update of where I am on my pattern of the Butterick 6377. I am working on View C, and thus far, I have completed the actual bodice. Now in the instructions, it really doesn't talk about serging your seams. Since I have a serger, that is what I'm doing, and it's coming together very quickly, very easily. Now, once it's completed, I might have a different story, but so far so good. So here's a bodice, of course, inside out. And when we turn it right side out, it is coming together quite nicely. Now, in my last video, I told you that I was going to try and do some more pattern fitting. Well, when I was reading my book, I should have done that before I actually cut out the fabric. So basically, all that I did was based on what the suggested length of my shirts should be for my body shape, etc. I actually did raise my seam up about an inch. So we'll see how that works. But as far as fitting it to my bust, hips, and waist, I had well been past the point I should have done that. You live and learn there. So, but this is coming together nicely, I think. And all I have left to do on this is to inset my sleeves, put my collar on, and hem it, and then we'll give it a try. We'll see if taking an inch off the hem actually works in theory. So I was really intimidated by this pattern just because of the way that it looks and thinking, oh my goodness. But I must say, this is really so far has been really easy to put together. So I'm thankful for that. A purchase that I made, sewing related. I know I wanted to use my stash up, and I'm still keeping to that. But for my birthday, my local quilt shop had that I automatically got 20% off my purchase. And as I was going through, I actually went in there because I had some questions about the t-shirt quilts that I'm trying to put together and matching fabrics and let me say that again. Oh my goodness. What she would suggest, there we go, that I do, because all of my t-shirts are different colors and there's not one thematic color through them all. So I went in there initially to ask that question, but then I remembered I did have my 20% off, and although all the fabric was very beautiful and I wanted to take some home, I did not. But what I did was I got a panel of quilting labels, and I am really bad about putting labels on my quilt, but this is a panel of different types of quilting labels, and I can use some of those micron pens to use my own handwriting to tell a little history or a little story about that quilt and then iron it on. And so that is my plan, because the quilt behind me was made by, I believe, my maternal grandmother, because this looks like some of the 70 dresses that she wore. And she made me a quilt, but I would have loved, now that she is gone, to have had a quilting label on the back to know kind of a little bit about this. And so I don't want to repeat the same thing with my quilts, and thus I'm going to try to do a better job at using quilting labels. So birthday, that brings me to life. I did have a wonderful birthday. My husband did an amazing job, as he always does, of spoiling me. I did have to work, and he said, sorry about that, but that's adulting. Yeah, thanks. But after work, he met me at the house and picked me up. He had some beautiful red roses for me, and he always picks out the most amazing cards. And so he picked out a great card, and then he took me to my favorite Japanese hibachi restaurant, and we were able to enjoy a very nice meal with many leftovers afterwards. So I really appreciate that. When we got back, I was able to open up my gift. Now, some of you might think, why did he get you that? But this is what I asked for. So I did get an electric pressure canner. Last year I taught myself how to water bath can, and this year I want to do some pressure canning because many of the recipes that I want to try, and the reason why I wanted to get into canning is not only produce great fresh ingredients and use them for things in my cupboard and not have to worry about the extra stuff, but like spaghetti sauce is better if you pressure can it. So I'm looking forward to learning how to use that, and can't wait for my garden to get started so that I can begin harvesting that and preserving it to enjoy year round. Speaking of, I did get a lot of seeds. I'm planning to do a separate video of my seed haul, my first ever seed haul. So stay tuned for that. In other news, my mother is doing well. We're having some good weeks, so I'm very, very thankful for that. This past week, we went back to her radiologist because it has been quite some time since her initial diagnosis of bladder cancer. And so we wanted to see if she was still a candidate because she has finally decided that she wants to try radiation. And so after our appointment, he still felt that she was a great candidate. It's 50-50 whether it will work or completely eradicate it, but she wanted to take that chance. So it's 20 treatments, 5 days every week for 4 weeks. And so her first treatment is February the 13th. And it was just really great to have her mentally aware and participating in the doctor's visit. The past few months, she doesn't have dementia or Alzheimer's. It's just because she's been so sick and on so much medication that it's really affected her thinking and processing. And so it was really nice that this appointment, she asked some great questions and really was more involved in her medical care. So that was a blessing. So I'm very thankful for that. So I hope that all of you are doing well. Thank you for your understanding of last week not being able to produce a video. Just wasn't feeling well. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't get overly tired and get sick, because now we're in the crucial stage of her care and trying to keep her free of other types of illnesses so that radiation is more effective as she can continue her treatment. So thank you so much for your understanding of that. I hope that all of you are doing well. Thank you so much for being a part of my community. I love reading your comments. So please comment below. What are you going to be working on this spring? Are you going to be gardening? What patterns would you suggest? I'm really looking for a pattern for like a sweater, but not a sweater, kind of a lightweight, I don't know what to call it, a little jacket that I can wear around the house, because I'm just getting cold nature all of a sudden. My husband likes it cold, and sometimes I need something on my arms. So if you have a great, easy pattern that you would suggest, comment below. I'm looking for other things to maybe make where it's a little bit more lightweight, especially when the spring gets here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I treasure each and every one of you. I look forward to seeing you in my seed haul video, as well as my next Friday sows. Have a great day, my friend, and happy sowing.